know it's in there. I know.
No, please don't. I can explain it. Let me reason with you.
Where's it at? Sick of these things.
No, please don't. I have a reason why we need them. We need them.
These are older than me. These are older than me.
Be a reasonable man.
No, stop.
Let me explain. I just trashed my motor twice because I tried reusing old.
This guy over here too.
No, not more. No, you are gonna throw out more. Don't do it.
This has to be trash. Yeah. Look at how bad this is.
We could
have a new ones.
Okay, this was supposed to be kind of funny. Now it's not at all. I reused some parts that we shouldn't have in the efforts of just reusing parts that we shouldn't have, and that cost yeah. We're still on schedule, but yeah, this is a guardian angel doing what the Lord's work. I can't do it.
Great fitment, you know? You like that?
Oh,
We're just gonna have to send it to the body shop first, and we'll see you guys in a year.
Yeah.
Almost done.
I am beyond exhausted. The amount of stuff that's happened since the last shot can't even be explained. Just cannot. On top of that, I worked very hard to take everything away from the hot exhaust area, all the wiring and everything that can melt, and Isaiah decided to add oil right back into that same area. Having an open wastegate right next to oil filters, trust. That is a lot of trust. We need tons of oil filtration and the sexy oil coolers, all of that, so that way we don't have to deal with oil problems ever again on this car. And it actually adds a lot more volume to it with the oil coolers and this. Hopefully all that can get together so we can go to a nice little event. Guys, we just pulled an all-nighter upgrading this engine. We had to. Wait till you hear it. We swapped out the corner seals because we're just getting low compression only at low RPM. The car's running great at a higher RPM, making power and all that, but the corner seals just had to go. And so we fired up just briefly and we're like, get the camera. So brand new assembly, listen to this. This is my first time here. I have no idea what to look for. This actually reminds me of a country version of Ebzu drift track. Like it's got that same, like there's multiple tracks in different places. It's kind of got a mountain deal going on, but Ebzu is very like forest jungle-ish. Like there's a hint of jungle to it, especially because they have a lion there.
Oh, the 400Z's here.
Yeah.
Go that way.
Oh my God, this is just the beginning. It feels so great. Whoa. We have like 4 more quarts of capacity. We added an oil thermostat.
It's like an Australian supercar,
Yeah.
DTM car, and like a British touring car, like all came together and made some weird, awesome, badass baby.
I want to see it in person, 'cause, you know, pictures like you said.
Pictures, yeah. It is. Oh, the sound is nuts.
Oh man, that was just a little baby drive, and we gotta look at everybody else's cars, but this, nice little taxi.
And that felt so wild. It's a running, drivable car. Like you didn't put it first, second, third, and it didn't stall or anything. It's just like exciting. I don't know. It's exciting. Oh, it's Rob Parsons.
I'm going for a ride with Chris. My time.
part was the meth igniting out of those pipes kept me so warm. That was so sick. I've never been in the back seat while somebody else is drifting. Dude, that's an awesome car. Yeah, being behind you is hilarious. Yeah, the back seat is fun. Yeah, it's like whoa. Yeah. Your exhaust is keeping us warm. And I gotta play with the grip a little bit more. It's still pretty floaty on the off throttle. Yeah, but like it's just taking it easy, working the grip into it. You know, like the forward drive is nuts. Yeah, as soon as you start putting the power down, oh my god. You know what's funny though? This time it scraped way more. It tells me a lot about my diet. Stop sleeping. Yeah. Don't sleep.
Well, just like you see here, the 3-rotor is not in the garage. That's because we are. The car is outside, and we are going back to the dyno to finish what we started. This has been an emotional roller coaster. We've summarized it very quickly, but let's talk about all of the changes so you can understand between the little 500 horsepower pole to what we're about to do now. First of all, we actually went and swapped all the corner seals. That sounds like such a simple thing to say. I aged another year doing that. So in 24 hours, we tore the car down, swapped corner seals, and then got it right back and running. And oh my God, the change is different. The thing idles at 1,000 RPM. That's only 100 RPM higher than what it used to do. The compression is absolutely nuts at the low end. So that makes the car so much more drivable, easy to start, and all the above. So we did that. We added both of the massive oil coolers and all new lines from all that, just because we've had that cast iron from whenever it was drilled long ago wedged in the old oil coolers, and it's just been screwing us over and over again. So we finally went to the big oil coolers. We have over 8 quarts of oil in that whole system. We just checked it a couple minutes ago, and it can handle almost double the amount of oil that it used to handle. Not only that, we have the oil thermostat, which is nestled right in the middle. Isaiah put it in a beautiful spot, so that way the oil can stay in the engine until it warms up, and then it shoots it over to the oil coolers, and basically we'll reach 140 degrees oil temperature and stay there until all of the oil gets warmed up. So that way you warm up quick, you have fun, and then turn on cooling as you go. On top of all of that, the main point of all of this, which sounds like the simplest one, it's not, is that we took the oil filter, the Clearview oil filter, from the 4-rotor, we're buying another one for that one, and put it onto the 3-rotor. That massive paper cartridge can no longer get clogged up and then bypass and fill the engine full of bad oil. If there's any sort of metal fragments, anything, all of that doesn't happen anymore. Tons of filtration, tons more oil capacity. It's time to see what this engine can do. God, you can hear that I don't have the idle set again because it's so different because it's just those corner seals that it was like at 600, that's what you heard me bouncing around at and wouldn't die. We'll have to adjust the idle now that it's so different, but it's running rich also because there's no blow-by, well, a lot less blow-by. We thought we were stuck with the door open. He's good, not even close. That's happy with how she's sounding, how she's feeling. Everything about that's really solid. I was actually running so rich. What you heard at the very end was me just idling because I leaned it out like back to where it should be idling at, and it raised the idle back up. So I took about 20% of my fuel. So if I had 100% fuel going into there, I took 20% out. That's how much cleaner this engine is to get to the same RPM efficiency. It's mind-blowing. So right now I'm just going to download all the logs, wipe the ECU of all the logs, so that way it backs it up as we go to do all these pulls. pretty good, but there are sections of the map that I can finally clean up. There's an area where it got a little bit, like, I would say leaner, but just up at the top end of our safety zone, and an area where it got way richer that I need to clean up. So totally different than it was before. Do it. I let off really early. It felt really good, but it's starting to climb really quick. I turned on the closed loop just to make sure it's covering my ass, because I had it off the last round. So I want to see what it does, because I wanted to take it a step further, and it did change it a little bit. That felt really, really good. That was really the first pull. I have worked the map over considerably, and I'm super curious to see what we get. Oh my God, that was my first major pull. The amount of work I had to do in that fucking fuel tech, 15 PSI? Yeah, so 14.5. That's insane, because this car before, long ago, used to make 600 horsepower at 15 PSI. I want to point out, that sounds awesome, but this is a perfect trap that a lot of car enthusiasts, mostly rotary guys, fall into is, oh my God, Rob's an amazing tuner. He made 100 more horsepower at the same PSI. This is a massively ported engine now. There's a semi-peripheral, so the manifold pressure that you're measuring up here has dropped because that air is going from the turbo straight into the engine much easier. The ports aren't holding that back. So I'm making more power with less pressure being held back up in the manifold. So it's, as cool as I want to toot my own horn, watch out. When people say they've made it more horsepower with less PSI, first thing you should ask is, what is the porting? What's amazing though is I didn't think that semi-P would be that extreme of a difference in pressure to horsepower ratio. I thought we'd be at like 600, 650. So the wastegates were kicking on early and just holding. Nice. Maybe a little bit of creep right there. I let off at 789, it says on here, but 14.3 is that peak number right there. 13.9 right in there. This is what I got to work over. Why was it doing that? We'll make even more power. That's 0.7 lambda, and we're supposed to be at 8.3. Yeah. So we're gonna make way more power in that middle band. That was cleanup and actually going all the way up in the power band. I'll tell you what, VE tuning is so much easier. I'm trying to tune the primary fuel injectors and the secondaries and trying to do it the right way instead of just fixing the problem. It's actually really, really difficult. It takes a lot of experience, I think, to do it quickly. So I'm gonna go back through the whole fuel maps. I think one more pull, and then we're ready to start adding boost. I added boost. I lied. I was gonna do it one more time. I couldn't help it. I had to add some boost. I set it to turn off at 16. Yeah, so it says 17, so it's 16.8. I literally had it add 2 PSI, basically, is what I did. And even then, it was still purposely bleeding off at the top just to stay safe. Man, she brings that torque up early and then just holds it. I gotta figure this out. I actually have to look at the back pressure on the turbo now, because we might be throwing too much air through that turbo at that very top end. A semi-P should be opening up even more and higher. We shouldn't have anything dropping off, so that's the turbo. There's something going on with that side of things, not the engine. This is a very difficult learning process for me, because I'm going from VE tuning to injector each stage I'm controlling. So this is more manual, like more control, I guess, over it, but it's not control I need. I don't need it at all. After this whole dyno, I'm gonna end up redoing the whole map, because you just can't do that sort of math on the dyno. Sitting here paying by the hour, I'm gonna spend hours doing math to get the maps just where I want them. So right now they're kind of like, because again, I'm tuning this one and this one, and so any changes, like they both have these humps. Well, one's in a different spot, and so I want to transfer this hump over to this one. That's not math I can do quickly. But I'm gonna look at the logs, and then we're gonna go for a little bit more power. Let's see if we can break 800. What was our peak? 760. Let's see what the turbo's doing. Bittersweet news, we maxed out the turbo already. Over to about 7,000 RPM, basically right here. So this is, yeah, 7,000 RPM. The back pressure on that turbo starts to climb and the boost pressure isn't climbing. The boost pressure is staying the same. So you can actually see right now we're at 26 back pressure, 16 regular, and that's fine. That's a limit I'm good with. But then as soon as we start going, there at the top end, we're at 7,800 RPM, and we're at 16 PSI still, and now we're at 30 PSI back pressure. We could wastegate it more, but that's not the problem. The problem is the air can't get through the hot side of the turbo quick enough. So we can close down the wastegate more to try and make more boost, but you're dicking with the wrong side of the problem. That just means we need more. We can actually tune it and raise the boost, but you're gonna see a massive torque spike in the middle of the power band. So the car will whoop, and then it'll actually run out of steam. And that's the same thing I had with the old 4202, is that it had the nastiest 5,000 RPM spike, but then it would drop off at the very top end. I'm gonna take a second and think things through. Up that middle area, and you can hear it just scream up there quicker. A lot to learn though. I'll tell you that much for sure. Biggest area was going to be the middle. Yeah, look at that middle band area. I picked up a lot. That was what I was feeling. I didn't mess with this area as much, but you can see that I really started cleaning that area up. Yeah, I added about, I think it was a PSI from 18 to 19. This area will clean up. This area will continue cleaning up, so we'll have a bigger power band in here. That's really where this turbo is going to shine. Like, this is an older 4508, but this would be an amazing street car, really, because I can clean this area up, and you're talking, this is 4,500 RPM all the way to your top. For a street car, this would be amazing. So Garrett's obviously gotten way past this even. I could probably break 800, but I'll take a look at the back pressure, and if we can break 800 with the back pressure, I'll feel good. We're not chasing specific numbers here. We knew this turbo would be smaller, but way more efficient. So I'll take a look a little bit more at the logs. We maxed out that turbo, and I'm so impressed because, you know, 780 some odd horsepower is a hell of a lot better than the zero we were running for the last 2 years. To see it make 700 horsepower at 15 or 14 PSI is utterly insane. You know, even though I know that bigger ports mean what they mean, it's neat to get here. This car, myself, this turbo on here makes it one of the nastiest street weapons ever. I've got a lot to learn on the fuel tech. It is a step backwards for me. I can't tune it as quickly. I absolutely survived the dyno, and the engine's healthy as hell. You know, I want to dedicate this video to that one guy that was mad that I used engine oil, to assemble the engine. This video is for you, sir. Let's see what that feels like on the street. These are the shitty harnesses, but they're actually mounted in way safer than they used to be for the moment.
Done.
Horse, fuck this road, dude.
3-4 miles. I want you to go all the way over there, turn back around. I want you to grab third right here.
I would love to do that. We haven't gone through the suspension at all. No, the car's pulling all over the place. That sounds amazing, but we'll be doing some actual street pulls soon enough. But my God, she like has this like butter. I want to point out that the board needs to be updated. The 4-rotor would go somewhere up there. All-wheel drive, 4-rotor, 1240, rear wheel, 18 PSI. I'll do the best I can with the tires I've got, but I'll do it for him. He busted his ass this week. that felt. that felt. Yeah, my panties fell off. They're all wet. That wasn't even anti-lag or anything like that, but just clean. I was in control of the car. It was fun. I just, a little baby correction, but it was just like.
And you had Mickey's on.
Yeah, that's the first time I've actually driven the car hard. I'm like right back into it. I know this car very, very well. I'll still mess it up very, very quickly, but like, it's my old stomping grounds.
It's been 2 years, bro. Where's that 1,000 horsepower you promised?
Okay. You're hustling me today, but I got something.
780 is not bad.
Yeah.
But, it's...
Yeah, we got that 1,000 horsepower. I got that thing strapped on.
Keep
That sounds worse. I got the strap on.
Strapped up? Okay.
I got the strap on.